I was thinking about this the other day while I was out for a walk. Just a simple, quiet walk. And I remembered a client I saw years ago. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah loved to garden. She loved the dirt, the seeds, the patience of waiting for something to bloom. It was her sanctuary. But every time Sarah went out to her garden, her husband would suddenly have a crisis. He'd lose his keys. He'd have a sudden, inexplicable bout of back pain. Or more subtly, he'd stand in the doorway and mock her. He'd call her Little Miss Organic, or tell her she was wasting money on dirt while the house was falling apart. Eventually, Sarah stopped gardening. The flowers died. The weeds took over. And she told me, it was just easier to stop than to deal with the atmospheric pressure of his disapproval. Does that sound familiar? Listen, we are told by every self-help guru, every positive vibes Instagram account, and every well-meaning friend, get a hobby, find your passion, reclaim your identity. And in a healthy world, in a world where people actually care about your growth, that is beautiful advice. It's foundational. But we don't live in that world, do we? Not when you're dealing with a narcissist. In the world of narcissistic and antagonistic relationships, your hobby isn't just a pastime. It's a threat. It's a battlefield. It's a declaration of independence that they are determined to crush. Today, I want to talk about why narcissists absolutely hate your hobbies, why they work so hard to sabotage them, and how you can protect that small spark of joy without it being extinguished. To understand why they hate your hobbies, we have to look at the psychological mechanics of narcissism. We have to look at individuation. In a healthy relationship, two people are separate entities who choose to be together.
You have your stuff, they have their stuff, and you have our stuff. But a narcissist doesn't see you as a separate person. To them, you are an extension. You are a tool. You are an appliance designed to regulate their self-esteem. When you pick up a guitar, or you go to a book club, or you start training for a 5K, you are individuating. You are saying, I exist outside of you. I have a world that you don't inhabit. I have joy that doesn't come from your permission. And for a person with a fragile, fragmented sense of self, that is terrifying. It's an abandonment. If you are focused on a canvas or a crossword puzzle, you aren't focused on them. And if you aren't focused on them, they start to psychologically decompile. There are three main reasons why your hobby is their enemy: the lack of control, the jealousy of joy, and the mirror problem. Let's talk about control. Narcissists need to be the sun at the center of your solar system. Your hobby? That's a rogue planet. They can't control what happens in your yoga class. They can't control the thoughts you have when you're knitting. They can't control the people you meet at the community theater. So, they use the narcissistic piston. They push, they pull, they grind you down. They'll use the sabotage. You have a class at 7 p.m. At 6:55, they'll pick a fight. They'll bring up something you did in 2014. They'll forget to pick up the kids. They will create a chaotic environment so that by the time you actually get to your hobby, your nervous system is fried. You're not thinking about your hobby. You're thinking about the rage waiting for you at home. They mock, they belittle, they minimize, they devalue. Oh, you're doing that again? Must be nice to have so much free time while I'm working myself to the bone. You're not even that good at it. Why do you bother? It's a bit selfish, don't you think?
Taking all that time for yourself?
They pathologize your joy. If you love fishing, you're avoiding your responsibilities. If you love volunteering, you're trying to look like a saint to the neighbors. If you love gaming, you're immature. They want to make the cost of the hobby so high, the emotional tax so expensive, that you eventually just give up. You look at your paints, you look at the door, and you think, it's not worth the 3-day silent treatment I'm going to get if I go to the studio today. So you put the brushes away, and they win. Now, I know what the standard advice is. I can hear the therapist who don't understand narcissism saying it right now. Just set a boundary. Tell them, this is my time, and I need you to respect it. Listen to me. It ain't gonna work. In a narcissistic dynamic, a boundary is a challenge. It's a red cape to a bull. If you tell a narcissist, this hobby is important to me, you have just given them a map to your most vulnerable spots. You've told them exactly where to hit you to make it hurt the most. You cannot communicate your way out of this. You cannot explain the value of your hobby until they get it. They do get it. They get that it makes you happy. And that's exactly why they want it gone. Because your happiness, your independent, self-sourced happiness, is a threat to their dominance. If you've lived this, I know how heavy that feels. I know the grief of looking at a guitar case gathering dust in the corner. I know the shame of feeling like you lost yourself. I want to say this clearly. It is not your fault that you stopped. You weren't being weak. You were surviving. You were trying to keep the peace in a war zone where the rules changed every 10 minutes. You were trying to manage the atmospheric pressure of an antagonistic person. But here is the reality check. They are not going to change. They are never going to walk into the room, see you working on your scrapbooking and say, you know what? I'm so glad you have this outlet. I'll handle dinner so you can finish. It is not happening. So, what do? We have to move from standard advice to survival strategies. If you are in this situation, you need a different set of tools. You need what I call soul distancing and the stealth hobby. Number 1, the stealth hobby. If you are still in the relationship, stop talking about how much you love the hobby. I know, that sounds heartbreaking. We want to share our joy with our partners. But with a narcissist, joy is a target. If you're going to the gym, it's just doing chores. If you're reading a book, it's just some boring thing for work. Don't give them the orchestra seats to your passion. Keep them in the nosebleed seats. When they mock it, don't defend it. If they say, that's a stupid hobby, you say, yeah, it's just a way to kill time. When you devalue the hobby to them, they lose interest in attacking it. It's gray rocking your passions. You keep the fire burning inside you, but you don't let them see the flames. Number 2, expect the sabotage. Expect that the moment you have something planned, a crisis will happen. Prepare for it. Have your safety goggles on. If they start a fight 10 minutes before your pottery class, recognize it for what it is. It's a script. It's a maneuver. Don't engage in the fight. Don't try to win the argument. Just say, we can talk about this when I get back, and walk out the door. Yes, there will be a price to pay when you get home, the cold shoulder or the rage. But you have to decide if you're willing to pay the freedom tax to keep your soul alive. Number 3, find your in-group. Narcissists isolate you. They want to be your only source of information and validation. Your hobby often connects you to a community. Lean into that. Whether it's an online forum, a local club, or just a group chat with people who get it. You need people who see you as an individual, not as an extension of a toxic person. I want you to hear me on this. Your joy is an act of defiance. In a system designed to make you small, quiet, and easy to manage, picking up a paintbrush is a revolutionary act.
Learning a new language is a jailbreak. Running that extra mile is a middle finger to the person trying to keep you stationary. Your hobbies are the breadcrumbs that lead you back to yourself. They are the evidence that there is still a you in there, underneath the gaslighting, underneath the exhaustion, underneath the trauma. Don't let the weeds take over the garden. Even if you can only plant one small seed in a pot that you keep hidden away, keep it alive. That seed is your identity. And one day, you're going to take that seed and you're going to plant it in a place where the sun actually reaches it. I want to hear from you in the comments. What was the hobby the narcissist in your life tried to kill? Was it your music, your career, your love for hiking? And more importantly, have you started to reclaim it? Drop it in the comments. Let's build that invisible support group right here. Your story might be the validation someone else needs to pick up their tools today. Survival is not just about staying alive. It's about keeping the parts of you alive that make life worth living. Don't let them have your joy. It's the one thing they can't actually take unless you hand it over. Keep your safety goggles on. I'll see you next time.